Thank you very much. Welcome to day 4, week 4, whatever y'all want to call it. Thank you, Catherine, for the text message. I did shut off my notifications for this. I don't know how that got through, but that's okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, let's jump in like we have been for the last 3 weeks, not 4 weeks, because I wasn't jumping in like super early on these calls, but let's get after it. Week 4, what are we covering today? Well, could have went in a couple of different directions here on this. Decided to go in this direction. I wanted to give you guys even more value. I wanted to cram even more into your brains this week. We're not going to go like super deep on stuff. I'm not going to be jumping back and forth all over the place, but we are going to talk about strategy. We're going to talk about leverage. We're going to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is frameworks. And today we're going to be covering off the AI growth loop. But before we get there, if you have not scanned this QR code yet, if you have not gotten on the list, if you are not receiving the emails that I've been sending out the day of, so you will be getting an email today with a link to the Drive folder, please scan this QR code, get yourself on the list so that I can get that email sent off to you, okay? Now, pro tip, if you are in the Google Drive folder that I sent out to you guys last week, you'll notice that we have weeks 1, weeks 2, weeks 3, and week 4 has now been added in there. So if you were a cheater, you could have went in there this morning and saw that I've got a slide deck in there, as well as all of the prompts are already in there as well. So not that you were a cheater. I'm just kidding. So that's where everything is going to reside. You will have that for forever and a day. It will also be on Remax University, so you guys will have access to that as well. So if you have not scanned this QR code, if you want to get a direct email from me with the link to the recordings all 4 weeks, and incidentally, my plan now, again, going back to the feedback that I received after week 1, obviously made some changes with how I was delivering this training. I am going to reshoot week 1. Now I realize that there's, some other offices they're starting this a week or 2 later or 3 weeks later. Totally fine. I'm going to revamp week 1. It's going to be all the same content, but it's going to be in the same format that we're doing here. So, a little bit of a slide deck at the beginning and then live drive afterwards, because I realized afterwards that week 1 was a bit of a shizzle show. I was kind of all over the map, all over the place, but I still think the content was pretty good. So what did we talk about last week, man? I had a couple of conversations with office owners, agents, again, just crammed as much information as we possibly could into week 3. So what did we cover? We talked about how to build a CMA utilizing artificial intelligence. So whether you're using Grok or Perplexity or Gemini or my favorite ChatGPT, doesn't matter, your AI model of choice. I showed you how to build out a market evaluation for a property, how to go and get those PDFs, the board information, the board stats, how to upload that into ChatGPT, how to correctly craft a prompt so that it will give you the exact information that you're looking to grab, and then how to actually build out an email utilizing AI that you can send off to the client. We talked about how to build a one property marketing plan. So again, this whole idea that you want to separate yourself, that you want to be different from everybody else. In order to be different from everybody else, this is what I know. You aren't going to be offering really anything different than your competition, but what you are going to be doing is packaging it up and communicating it differently than them, right? And if you can package up your value proposition and everything that you do in order to market a property properly, and then present that in a really beautifully laid out presentation, and you're doing that on your computer. I actually knew a guy. He had a little mini projector, and so he would, through Bluetooth, connect his laptop up to this projector, put this like project the image off of his laptop onto the wall. So he had this full-on presentation, so people weren't having to look at his 13-inch screen. Something to think about. I don't even know if those still exist. But one property marketing plan. We talked about how to build out the CMA presentation inside of Gamma, so utilizing the Gamma app. And then I showed you how to take that marketing plan that you put together previously and then put those prompts in so that you've got the entire thing all together. Right, so we've got the CMA presentation as well as the customized one property marketing plan. We covered off the pre-listing package, how to build that out, how to put that into a PDF. You print that off and then send it off to the client. You can FedEx it. You can, utilize snail mail. You can go and drop it off, or you can simply email it. And then the last thing that we covered last week was how to build out an email campaign. So I actually jumped into Bold Trail, if you guys can believe it. Showed you guys how to build out an email campaign. But prior to that, we talked about how to properly build out an email sequence utilizing AI, and then taking that information, copying it, pasting it into Bold Trail, and then building out that actual seller email sequence that allows you to stay in contact with your clients at scale, at a higher level than your competition ever will. Right, so that's a bit of a review from last week. Again, I'm almost out of breath going through all of that. So, ton of information there. Please go back, rewatch the recordings. I had a great call with a coaching client this morning. We talked about potentially, working with putting together cohorts. So if you're in an office setting and you're watching this with a bunch of your colleagues, think about getting together, the 5 of you, the 10 of you, the 15 of you, whatever it is, split it up into 2 groups. Rewatch the recordings, decide how many times you're going to meet, how often you're going to meet, how long the meeting is going to be, and then give yourselves a bit of a guideline as to what it is that you're going to discuss. Because here's what I know, guys. I said this from stage here. I was speaking at a conference a little bit earlier this year, and one of the things that I said to the crowd was essentially that we've all been to tens, dozens, hundreds of conferences, and every time we go to a conference, we come back full of great ideas. And the ones that get the most out of these types of trainings and going to conferences are the ones that actually execute at the highest of levels. I don't want you guys just to take this training, go away and do nothing with AI, or go back to just writing friggin' listing descriptions, okay? As we've demonstrated over the course of the previous 3 weeks, AI goes so much deeper. There's so much that you can build utilizing artificial intelligence, building your business model, building out your brand, building out your systems, emails, like everything, you name it, it will build it for you. You just you need to know how to speak to it. So get together with your colleagues, get together with your mates, figure out a cohort system, and start to break these recordings down and figuring out what it is that you're going to work on first. And I'll give you a pro tip, okay? The foundation of everything that we have done in this training revolves around what? Prompt engineering. It revolves around creating the proper prompt to yield the right response, and then we edit until we get it right. Okay, so make sure that you're starting there, figuring out how to effectively put together a prompt utilizing that 4-prompt framework that we spoke about. Okay, so highly encourage that. Please take what you've learned from this course, execute at the highest of levels. I'm telling you, if you execute on even half of the stuff that you learned over the course of these 4 weeks, you will be so far ahead of your competition within the next 6 months. It will make your head spin like a top. All right, so what are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about strategy and leverage. As mentioned before, we're going to talk about the AI growth loop, the AI growth loop. And I'm going to review some of the best parts, what I feel are the best parts of this this last 4 weeks. So I think I've got 5 different things that I'm going to kind of review. So we're going to go back through some things. I've got some prompts that I've rejigged, that I put together for you guys. Those prompts, again, are all in that PDF document that you're going to have access to inside of Drive, as well as inside of RE/MAX University. So the first thing that we're going to do now, I realize this might be a little bit small on some of the screens that you guys are watching this on, but I'm telling you, like, you're going to have, copies of the slide deck, so you'll be able to get this specific slide. So what is the strategic loop? Well, essentially, the strategic loop consists of a 4-step framework, and the reason why we take our business and we look at it from this perspective is because we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do in relation to our competition at the highest of levels. We want to make sure that we are doing everything that is going to yield the most, or the highest and best return on investment, right? So if we can spend 10 minutes doing some research around buyer psychology and some trends, and then figuring out what it is that we can deliver to generate that lead, we're going to do that. Then we're going to execute on things. We're going to build out real-time campaigns, right? We're going to put out PDF lead magnets. We're going to utilize Gamma and create those lead magnets. We're going to develop email sequences so that we can create a funnel where, we put this thing into a program like Flowdesk, and we create a form, and we put that form onto Facebook and advertise it out through Instagram, and maybe put it into Google AdWords and get people to land on that page where they give you what? Their name, their phone number, and their email address, so that you can give them the thing of value. That thing of value will be a lead magnet. That's what a lead magnet is. So you're going to create something inside of Gamma, a PDF document of some kind, call it, the ABC Realty way of purchasing a property for $20,000 less in any market. Whatever. I just kind of made that up on the fly, right? So you're going to create the lead magnet. Then you're going to actually do a performance review. If you remember, I believe it was in week 2, we went over how to do an audit on your social media. In fact, I did this for somebody that was on the call here these last 3 weeks. We had a free coaching consultation. He sent me an email. He's like, "Hey, can you break down, have a look at my my social media stuff?" I took his social media stuff. I did a quick analysis on it myself, and then I took his links and I put it into ChatGPT. Annabelle, I don't know if you're watching, buddy, but that's exactly what I did. So you could have easily done this audit yourself. It's just a matter of taking those links, putting them into ChatGPT, and giving it the correct prompts, right? So performance review, getting instant feedback, an instant feedback loop to improve your copy, to improve your CTAs, which are your call to actions, and then optimizing things, right? So repurposing certain content that you can push across different channels. So, maybe taking a caption and an image that you've put onto Instagram and taking that caption and putting it into ChatGPT and asking it to rewrite it for LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn and Instagram, there's two completely different kinds of audiences on those two different platforms, right? LinkedIn is going to be more for the professional, whereas Instagram is going to be more for your colleagues and, potential buying and selling clients as well. But they're going to be looking more for fun, information versus like very professional type information. So that's what we're talking about: research, execute, analyze, and optimize. So there's two types of strategic thinking, I think, and strategy equals leverage. And so, there's tactical thinking and there's strategic thinking. Most agents, they stay stuck in the day to day, and just nod your head if you think that this sounds like you, right? I know that Kelly's on this call. He tells me that I need to be on, and my camera kicked out. Well, this is no good. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. If that happens again, I'm switching cameras. Just nod your head if this feels like you, right? I need, Kelly's on this call. He tells me I need to post to Instagram 3 times a day. I know I need to post something. I just don't know what to post, right? I know I got to write this email. I got to put together a market report email. I got to send that out to my client, my database. I got to do that once a month. I just don't know what to say. So therefore I'm not going to do it. Right. I have went to the airport yesterday, was traveling with a guy, a colleague of mine, graciously took me up to the airport, and we had a conversation on the way up there. And he's like, "Man, my scripts used to be really dialed in. I used to be able to, when somebody would give me an objection, I'd be able to handle it no problem. And, I just don't know where things are going. Like, I don't know why I can't handle these objections like I used to be able to." And one of the things that I said to him was, "Well, why don't you take what it is that you say, put it into ChatGPT, and start to formulate that." Okay, so you start to formulate responses back to yourself. So I actually had this call with another coaching client just before we jumped on this call, and he had the suggestion of, "Hey, why don't we actually just have a conversation with Grok? Like, tell Grok exactly what it is that we're going to do. I'm the recruiter. You're going to act as the agent, and you're going to offer me a bunch of, objections as to why you're not going to be looking at making a move to our brokerage anytime soon. And I'm going to handle the objection. And every time I handle the objection, I want you to stop. I want you to analyze it. I want you to tell me what I did wrong and how to improve." Like, you work with your AI in that capacity, and you're working at it from a seller, like a listing agent seller perspective. Your objection handling is going to get spot on. You're going to go through those 5 stages of internalization. All of a sudden, it's going to be autonomic. It's going to be part of your DNA, but you're not going to be able to get there unless you practice it. And if you don't know what to say, how to say it, when to say it, Guys, AI is your instructor. It is there to help you with this stuff, right? So how do I respond to this objection? I'm telling you, like if you don't know how to respond, go and ask your AI model to help you figure out what your scripting looks like. Start with this. So this is, again, I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but that's okay because I think this is really valuable. I think it's really important. I think that a lot of agents deal with this on a day to day, right? You get a call from somebody, it's a lead, they call you off your website. And a lot of our, like what we're taught to say is, are you already working with a realtor? Now, the buyer or the seller can automatically lie. No, we're not working with anybody. We just want to get in and look at the property, right? I think the right question is, hey, I'm just curious, have you already sold your home in Kelowna? Like that is a question that is going to tell you, that's going to allow you to direct the conversation. So if you were to reframe that question, get away from, are you already working with an agent, and reframe to, hey, I'm curious, have you already sold your home in X city? Right? You can take that and then figure out what kind of responses you're going to get back from that potential buyer or potential seller, right? So what are some of the responses that you might get back? No, yes, we've already sold our property. We're already working with an agent. Okay, well that's pretty easy, right? No, we're not. We didn't have a house to sell. We're actually renting. Great. Put that in as a response, and then what is going to be your response to it? That's how you start to develop these objection handlers. You start to use your own mind, figure out what a response is going to be to a direct question that you're going to ask, and then utilize AI in that fashion, get it to help you out to actually build out what your objection handlers are going to be. Then from there, you're going to take all of that information, you're going to put it into a Google Doc, you're going to print it off, and you're just going to practice and practice and practice until it becomes part of your DNA. So then you hear certain keywords, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I just heard this keyword, so now this is going to be the response that I give. Your closing rate is going to steadily increase if you know exactly what to say, how to say it, when to say it. This is AI. And guys, I think I may have just put myself out of a job here. Like, I'm a coach. I do this full time. I mean, I don't really coach around scripting. I've got lots of scripts, but guys, like this is just a no-brainer, right? Really is. So tactical thinking, most agents stay stuck in that day to day. I need to post. I just don't know what to post. What should I say in this email? I'm not entirely sure. How do I respond to this, right? How do I respond to this objection? AI is there to help you with everything. This is versus strategic thinking, right? So what's my Q4 content plan based on my market's behavior, right? Which client segment should I build a new lead magnet for? Like if I'm looking at my business, I could take all of the business that I've done, that I've tracked in a spreadsheet. I can upload this spreadsheet into ChatGPT or whatever AI model you're using. I can have it analyze it and tell me exactly where all of my businesses come from because I'm tracking all of that data. Therefore, I know which segment of the market to really go after because I'm getting a ton of business from this one segment, right? Then we can actually gear our marketing and our content strategy around that one segment so that we can start to focus on getting more and more of those buyers and sellers, right? And then where is my business leaking time or money? Again, this is, ultimately trying to figure out where it is that we can improve. How we can become more efficient inside of our business, as well as push out more content, attracting more buyers, more sellers than all of our competition combined. I've talked about Jacks with Josh before on previous calls, and I'm telling you, I've done a deep dive on the guy's channel. It's truly amazing what he's been able to do, and the guy is putting out like a piece of content every single day, and it's just one channel, just his Instagram channel. Now I know he's probably doing a heck of a lot more than that. He's probably pushing to Facebook and other platforms as well. He's repurposing that content, and that's part of what we're talking about here today. Right? He's taking one piece of content, he's repurposed it into like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different pieces of content, and he's pushing that out to various channels, just utilizing social media to be a marketing engine for him. All right, so you got to start thinking about AI as your strategic partner, as opposed to just, I'm going to go to AI, I'm going to tell it to do this thing for me. And once it does this thing for me, like acting more as an assistant than an actual strategic partner, right? So you're going to get AI, you're going to have ChatGPT or Grok, whatever, to analyze your buyer and seller demand shifts in your market, right? This is all based off of prompting, and I'm going to show you guys a prompt that you can utilize to dump into your AI model that's going to give you this information back, right? You're going to clarify who your buyer is, who your seller is, or what your lead gen offer is. You're going to plan monthly and quarterly marketing campaigns. Like, this is how a business runs, you guys, right? Most businesses have marketing campaigns. They have monthly marketing campaigns. They go off of quarterly, numbers and metrics. And, most agents are not thinking like a business. They're not thinking at this capacity. They're not thinking about this at this level. And I'm telling you that AI, with everything that you guys learned, I believe it was in week 2, and in creating that content calendar, you do that on a weekly basis. You sit down on a Sunday and you plan out your entire week. Next thing you know, you've got yourself a marketing machine, a marketing engine that's going to help you post things, or at least create all of the content so that you can start to post on a consistent basis and just drive, traffic back to your channels, which is going to create more conversations, which obviously is going to, hopefully turn into more business for you. You're going to be able to evaluate and tighten up your business model. And then, ultimately forecasting revenue and lead flow. Like, I used to have a whiteboard on my wall. I came across an old video blog of mine from back in the day. It was like 2011, 2012. And we were in an old house that we lived in Calgary. And I had the whiteboard on the wall, and I had, red and blue markings. I had buyer, seller, I had all the closings and everything across. It was awesome. It was a visual for me to tell me how busy I was or how busy I wasn't. Right. And I used it as motivation. I would look at that wall and I go, okay, well, I'm not very busy. Like, who do I need to call today in order to get busy? Right? That's kind of forecasting that revenue and that lead flow. I mean, you can do this from a very rudimentary perspective. And one of the things that I coach around, I talk to my coaching clients about. I'm going to stop the screen share for just a second. And I'm going to show you like just a ridiculous thing that I started doing, that I was taught years and years and years ago by a coach that I had hired. And basically he said, take a piece of paper, okay? And you're going to write a line down the center of the piece of paper. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. You write a line down the center of the piece of paper, a line across the top. And on the left-hand side, again, this is kind of going off on a rabbit hole a little bit, but on the left-hand side, you're going to write prospective clients. Okay. On the left-hand side, you're going to write prospective clients. This is your pipeline. On the right-hand side, you're going to write current clients. So on the left-hand side, you're going to continually fill that pipeline. So you'll have 3 responsibilities when it comes to this piece of paper. The first responsibility is to fill up that pipeline, get that left-hand side, that left-hand column filled up, okay? The second responsibility is to move people from the left-hand column to the right-hand column. Get them from being fence sitters to actually in the yard, right? So we're going to move them from the right, or from the left to the right. And then ultimately the third responsibility is to cross their name off and put your favorite 4-letter word next to their name. It's not the dirty one you're thinking about, it's SOLD, right? So those are 3 responsibilities. You take that piece of paper, you tape it to your desk. Bob's your uncle. You look at that every single day. You will not have a problem figuring out where your lead generation is falling down, where your revenue is, and where your lead flow is at. As well as it's going to give you hopefully some inspiration to get out there, move your butt, and do more. Okay, but you can also utilize AI to do some of that. So we don't want to get into the homework quite yet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into ChatGPT. I got to jump into the right thing here. And I'm going to show you guys a prompt that I put together to help. Here it is. Okay, so this prompt is going to help you identify your gaps. Okay, so it basically, I followed the 4-step framework, which, again, to review really quickly, the 4-step framework of a solid prompt is to assign the role, number 1. Number 2, direct the command. Okay, what is it that you want it to do? Number 3, what is the context that we're building this around? Like, are you a real estate agent? Are you a business owner? Who are you? Okay. Number 4 is you're going to format the output. What is it that how do you want the AI to communicate back to you? Okay. So you'll see here, I say you're a seasoned real estate business consultant with 15+ years experience at advising solo agents in competitive North American markets. Identify and explain the top 5 marketing challenges that solo realtors are likely to face. Consider current trends such as AI adoption, lead generation fatigue, platform saturation, blah, 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 blah. He says, absolutely. Here's a plain language breakdown of the top 5 current marketing challenges solo realtors will face in 2025. Right. So basically what I've done here is I've said, okay, this is who I am. I want you to identify the 5 top marketing challenges that agents have across North America. I want you to consider trends like AI adoption, lead generation fatigue, platform saturation like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Reddit, like pick a platform. Like if there's so much out there, we have no idea which one to go with. Tightening marketing budgets. Agents are afraid to spend money right now because there isn't a ton of business like there was, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And then these agents are typically operating without a team, right? Provide a numbered list with each challenge clearly labeled. And this is what it came back with: lead generation fatigue, content platform overload, budget versus output imbalance, shiny AI syndrome, lack of a differentiated personal brand. And then it says, let me know if you want strategies or AI workflows to help overcome any of these. So I kind of ignore that. And then I say, you're a real estate marketing strategist who specializes in helping solo agents grow their brand, leads, and revenue without burning out. Provide 5 practical, high leverage solutions to overcome the top marketing challenges solo realtors face in 2025. So now it builds out an actual marketing camp, or at least gives me high leverage marketing solutions that I can then start creating content around. So build a 30-day nurture campaign using ChatGPT. That's an easy video that I could shoot and upload to YouTube, right? Pick one platform and own it. Like I should follow my own advice and be going all in on YouTube, because I know that YouTube is the highest rate of return on investment. The amount of time and money that you spend on that platform is going to yield like massive results. It's the same thing with real estate agents. We're seeing that more and more and more, right? Utilizing certain AI technologies like HeyGen, CapCut, Opus Clips, some of the things that we've talked about. There's another one called Captions. If I'm going too fast, I apologize. So we've got, HeyGen for video generation, AI avatar generation, right? CapCut for your editing. Opus Clips. So if you've got a long form piece of content, you can utilize Opus Clips to clip that long form piece of content up into shorter clips that you can then post up into YouTube Shorts. You can post into Facebook and Instagram Reels, right? Think anywhere from 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Wouldn't go as far as 3 minutes, but definitely start with that 30-second time frame. Captions is another one where you can add captions to a landscape style video or a vertical type video that you would see on your Instagram feeds. So I like Captions because it's got kind of different types of captions, different than what you would get with Opus Clips. And then the last one is Gling, which is this piece of software I think has become a little bit obsolete simply because there's Opus Clips as well as CapCut will actually remove all of the ums and ahs and the silences. Whereas Gling, that's basically what its claim to fame was. So what I would do, my workflow would be, I would shoot the piece of content, I would put it into Gling. It would remove all of the awkward pauses and silences. So I would have my what do you call it? Teleprompter going. And sometimes the teleprompter would go too fast, or I would be going too slow. And then I would have to stop. I would pause, wait for the teleprompter to catch up to me, and then I would start again. So it'd be like a 5-second pause in there. Gling would go in and remove all of that. So you don't really need Gling anymore because CapCut does that. Opus Clips already does that as well. So HeyGen, CapCut, Opus Clips, write all that stuff down. You can always go back through the recordings and get all that information as well. Creating a weekly digital mayor post about your community, right? So again, I think I've talked about this. If you are doing geo farming, you can utilize Instagram to really start, and Facebook for that matter, to really take your geo farming to the next level. You can marry the old school where you're door knocking, you're giving something away, you've got a QR code which they're going to scan, and it's going to take them over to your Instagram highlight reel, which is going to be you talking all about the community, becoming that digital mayor, similar to with Jax with Josh, right? Think about that time frame, or that type of content, pushing that out there. In fact, he calls himself the digital mayor of Jacksonville. The other thing is if you're doing that, if you're deploying that type of strategy, make sure that you know what the demographic is in the community that you're farming, right? Because there are certain demographics that aren't going to be on Instagram, right? Like baby boomers aren't going to be on Instagram, but they're going to be on 2 other platforms, one of which being Facebook, the other one being YouTube, right? Millennials aren't going to really be on Facebook. They're going to be, and Gen Z, they're not going to be on Facebook, but they're going to be on Instagram. So if you're geo farming, make sure you understand and know what the demographic is, so that you can, when you're creating the content, you're pushing them to the right platform where they're going to actually consume that content, right? And then the last piece here is install a repeatable marketing system and then help me automate it. Okay. So Carl says, these aren't just tactics, they're leverage points. Want help building out some of these systems? Just say the word, right? So I could have said easily, yes, go ahead and do that, but I didn't. And so I just basically said, you're a high-level marketing strategist who specializes in building offers that convert. Review the content above, analyze the ideal client profile, gave them a specific person under 40 years old, married, single with at least one child, recommend 3 compelling offers that I should promote to drive engagement, lead conversion, also like an effective marketing campaign to reach those buyers. So this is what it puts together. Offer number 1, the family-friendly first home plan. Like this AI will come up with an entire communication strategy with taglines and things that you've never even thought of, right? Vancouver starter home hot list under 900,000. Like you could have that as your email subject line, right? The third one, trade up without the stress. This is a boot camp that you could put together. Like these are all solid, rock solid ideas that I didn't have to sit down and brainstorm on my own, because we know that most agents are going to be solopreneurs, right? You don't really have somebody to sit down and bounce these ideas off of, but like now you do, right? And so then it takes these ideas and actually starts to build out a marketing plan for you. So marketing plan to promote these offers, Instagram Reels and Stories, building out a lead magnet and building out funnels, right? Facebook and local group promotions, and then YouTube mini series. All right. So those are 3 prompts where we can start to kind of identify where some of the gaps are in our business and, start creating content and putting together a plan. So we utilize a 4-step prompt framework. We want to identify what the problem is in our business. Like, why aren't we getting enough leads? Are we spending money on lead generation? No. Okay. Do we have a really great database, but we're not getting any leads from the database? Okay. That's great. That's something that we can work with. We can actually utilize AI to help us figure out where the gaps are with that. So you utilize the 4-step prompt framework. You put together the correct prompt. You add that into ChatGPT, into your AI model, and you start to work with it. And basically you'll move to a point where you get to this section where you're actually now building out a marketing plan. Now, what's the biggest thing that we have to do once we have the plan in place? It's execute on it, right? So again, you can put together a content calendar utilizing the strategies that we talked about in one of the previous weeks. Thing is that I don't want you guys putting together a content calendar that's 30 days long that you aren't going to execute on. You've got to do this in bite-sized, manageable sections where you look at it and you go, okay, I can work on this today. I've squirreled this away in my calendar. I've got 2 hours to work on this. I'm going to go ahead and execute at the highest of levels. I'm going to, build out that script for myself. I'm going to shoot that video. I'm going to take that video. I'm going to send it into Upwork to my video editor. She's going to go ahead and edit that video for me. And then I'm going to have it back. And now I've got something to upload into YouTube. Or I'm going to take that piece of content that I shot, I'm going to put it into Opus clips, and I'm going to have the AI edit the video for me. Now I do that 3 or 4 times. Now I got 3 or 4 reels that I can upload into the system. I've got a HeyGen video right now that I'm working on editing. The video itself took me all of I don't know, from the iteration, generating the script. I already had the idea for the script. I put it in to ChatGPT. I helped it kind of reframe my thinking around it, and then it built me a script. I took the script, I put it into HeyGen. The video was done after rendering. I think it was done in maybe 15 minutes, all in. The editing portion for me is taking a little bit longer in CapCut. I've been limited on time this week. If it was just me sitting down focused, it would be all in probably 45 minutes from conception to actually launching and getting it onto the platform. So if you get good with some of this stuff, this is literally when you say, listen, if I coach you and you say to me, I don't have time, like my kid says to me, Dad, I didn't have time this morning to get up and empty the sink or empty the dishwasher before I had to get to work, drives me nuts. You have the same amount of time. Everybody has the same amount of time in the day, right? If you're not doing 4, 8, 16 transactions in a month, guys, you got time. Okay. So make sure that you're never using that excuse. If we ever get into a conversation, please don't tell me that you don't have time, because you do. This will alleviate any time constraints or time stress that you wind up having. That will allow you to build out a video campaign. You'll be able to build 4, 5, 6 videos a week or every 2 weeks. And boom, the amount of content that you can start posting up. this was something that made us really successful when we built our brokerage in Calgary. We were super focused on creating more content, providing more value to the marketplace than all of our competitors combined. And back then, like we're talking 2016, 2017, AI existed, but not to the degree that it is today. We did not have access to open AI. In fact, ChatGPT did not exist. We didn't have any of this stuff. And where I say AI existed, it existed previous even to 2013. Google switched the algorithm on YouTube over to artificial intelligence, I believe, in 2013. So it's been around for a long time. We just haven't had ready access to it for, as long as some of these big corporations have. So, basically we're diving into this as quickly as we possibly can, learning it as quickly as we possibly can. And I firmly believe, a little bit of a rabbit hole again, 6 months from now, HeyGen will be completely different from what you see today. It will be so good that you won't even be able to tell that it's AI. Like right now, I can tell. You know me, I'm talking to you right now. You go and watch a video, you'd be able to kind of parse it out, right? You'll probably be able to tell, yeah, if you were listening to it, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. But if you were watching me, you'd be like, yeah, I could see this is AI. 6 months from now, it's not going to be like that. All right. So, sorry, guys, I got to take a quick drink here. Drank hot coffee, probably not a great idea. All right, so let's get into Live Drive. So, we spent the last 30 minutes talking about research, executing, analyzing, and my video went off again. Optimizing, right? So I want to actually get into a use case scenario, and I want to show you guys a prompt that I put together, and it's around market intelligence for a lead gen strategy. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 4 steps. Okay. So the scenario of this is that I want to know what types of content and lead magnets would best attract move up buyers in my market, which is in Kelowna, BC, over the course of the next 90 days. So let me get into the right project here. And share my screen again. Actually, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys this. Go to the prompts first. This way, you guys will have kind of an idea as to what it is that we're going to do here. No, sorry. We're going to go into the research, execute, analyze, and optimize in these prompt examples. This is what we're going to do first. Okay, so go ahead and share. Sorry, I lost my spot. Is this the right one? You are content strategist. Yes, it is. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, I don't need that anyways. I got it in front of me. Okay. Actually, I am going to need that. My guys, I'm having a day today. I think we all have days. My apologies. I will get there. I promise. Just give me 1 second. I got to get that window back that I just totally deleted. Give me 2 seconds here. My apologies. Where are we? Okay. Okay, so research, execute. So we're going to research, we're going to use AI to uncover trends, gaps, and ideas. We're going to execute, we're going to use AI to create content systems and offers. Okay, let's get into it. Goodness gracious. Now I'm having sharing problems. There we go. Okay. We're good now. Okay. So this is the research phase. Okay. So you are a real estate content strategist with expertise in social media. So that's, that is assigning the role. Identify the top 5 Instagram content angles that would resonate with downsizers in Kelowna, BC in 2025. Consider the motivations and pain points of this demographic: empty nesters, retirees, or 50+ homeowners looking to simplify, cash out, or relocate. factor in current Instagram trends like carousels, reels, storytelling, community-based content, return a numbered list with content angles, each with a 1 to 2 sentence explanation and a working example of a potential post title or theme. Now, again, don't try to write this down. Don't bother screenshotting it. This is part of the prompts document that you're going to have access to in Drive. Okay, so basically it breaks down the 5 Instagram content angles. Number 1 would be simplify your life. So we can talk about story reels, story series. We can post up reels and carousels, right? Why this works. Downsizers are emotionally attached to their homes, but crave a simpler, lower maintenance lifestyle. It gives you an example post from 3,000 square feet to Lakeview condo bliss, right? Number 2, equity unlocked, financial freedom angle. Oh, I love that one, right? Why it works. Many 50 plus homeowners are sitting on 6 to 7 figure equity. Now, again, remember what I talked about demographically, right? So if we're talking about people that are in their 50 to 60 to 70 age range, most of them are not going to be on Instagram. Most of them are going to be on Facebook, or they are going to be on YouTube, right? So think about it from that perspective. Where are you you're gonna create this content? Where are you gonna post it up? The third one is neighborhood matchmaker. So a series, you're gonna create reels, maps, and stories. What stays, what goes, downsizing tips, right? You imagine creating a series on, like I had a series that I did on YouTube years ago. I did an interview with a condo expert. She did Condo Doc reviewing. That was her job. That was her company. We sat down, shot a series of 5 videos. I asked her questions in each one of the videos. I saved it as a series. I took, every time I got a condo buyer, I took that series, I copy pasted the link, put it into an email. I said, watch this video series before we have our next conversation. I answered every single question that they would have had during the next probably 5 or 6 conversations, right? So think about the type of evergreen style content that you're creating that you can eventually share with your database, with your clients, right? Legacy moves, emotional angle, reels, and voiceover storytelling. This is really big right now. You'll notice on Instagram there are people that will shoot like video and it's just silent, but you hear their voice and they're not talking on screen. They're just showing you maybe what they did throughout the day, and it's just commentary. I love watching those types of videos, mostly because I love documentaries, and that's kind of a documentary style type piece of content, right? So reels plus voiceover storytelling, I think is really cool. And so here's the other thing is that if you don't want to be on video, you don't have to be. You could be shooting just the inside of a property that you're looking to list and sell. And so all you're doing is providing the voiceover for the property that you're marketing, right? So you never even have to be on the video. All right. So that would be the research side. Okay, so that's the research side. We've got the execute side. So this is the document that you guys are going to have access to. You're a real estate copywriter who specializes in writing high converting Instagram carousel posts for real estate professionals. So let's jump into that, right? So the context, assign the role, give the command, tell the AI exactly how we want to be, what the output should include, right? Slide headline, the hook, right? The hook is the first like 3 seconds of any video. Boom, you hook that person in. Hopefully they're going to stay tuned for the next 30 seconds, right? The CTA, that's your call to action. What it is that you want the viewer to take action on. What is it that you want them to do? And then it's going to give us the full caption copy. So here's a high converting Instagram carousel post for equity unlocked, right? So goal is to drive DMs from 50 plus homeowners. The tonality, we want warm, clear, action focused with empathetic authority. Guys, you can take this now. You can tell the AI, in fact, let's do this in real time. Okay, it's even provided us with a caption, right? So all we do is we copy and paste this into Instagram. So there's a couple ways to do this. There's this little button right down here that says copy. So we click on that, or we just highlight everything, right? Copy, boom, and done. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, because I want to create something, I want to create a carousel slide deck for Instagram. I'm going to say, please remember to say please and thank you, the steps above, and put them into gamma friendly prompts to build out a social carousel. Okay. Now I was going to go into gamma a little bit later, but we're kind of here. I'm not going to go into it, but I'm just going to show you what we're doing. So if you wanted to take this step, you absolutely could. Making sure that I'm on the right network. Okay. Here's your gamma friendly prompts, right? Remember how to do this, right? We would take this, we would go over here into gamma. Okay. We're going to create new. Said I wasn't going to do this, but here we are. Okay. It's giving us a few slides here. There's slide 7. Okay. Hopefully that's it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and copy that. We're going to come back in here into gamma. We're going to paste the text in, right? We're going to get rid of the top part. Go down here, get rid of the bottom part. Probably going to get rid of this as well. Okay. I want the social tab clicked, preserve this exact text, and then configuring the prompt. Okay, we got 7 cards in total. Go ahead and generate. Okay, while it's doing that, okay, now we've gone a little bit off topic here, but I'm telling you, like, once we see something, we're like, okay, well, this is really good. Let's go ahead and build the thing. Let's not just continue with doing what it is that we're going to do. Let's go ahead and execute on this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into here. I'm going to grab the analyze prompt. I'm sorry, I'm having all kinds of problems. You guys, I actually shut my notifications off. Oh, it says that I didn't. Crazy. Okay, copy that. I'm going to come back in here to ChatGPT. Okay, so we've got the research. We've executed on the thing that we're going to do. So we're doing that right now in Gamma. We're analyzing at this point, right? Here's a performance review of 5 Instagram post angles for downsizers in Kelowna, BC with a focus on engagement shareability. Okay, now again, I probably wouldn't go Instagram here. I would probably go Facebook or YouTube. And if I'm going YouTube, I'm going to use something like Harpa. You guys remember we talked about harpa.ai? That's a plugin for your Chrome browser. If you're a Chrome user like I am, you can go to harpa.ai. I believe there's a freemium version and there's a paid version. If you want to unlock all of the great tools that Harpa has access to, then obviously you're gonna get the paid version. And again, I don't get paid by any of these guys. I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that. So I like to suggest tools that I like to use. Okay, so we're gonna come back in here to Gamma. Let's have a look to see what they created for us. Hopefully it's some good stuff. It might take us, massaging this a little bit. Taking a little bit for the images to come in. There we go. We got a couple of images. Okay. So a couple of things here, like these images they're right at the top of the card, and I don't really like that. So that's one of the first things that I would probably fix. Let me show you something that I built in here. I believe I did this off of my phone. It was this one right here. So I built this off my phone. I don't know. I think it was last week. And I really love this quote, Rocky Balboa, right? It ain't about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, right? So I put together this thing here, this little carousel. I was able to go through, there's certain images that I was able to replace. Okay. Again, my camera has conked out. There we go. Okay. So I was able to replace some of this stuff, right? Mindset. Well, who is the king of mindset? David Goggins, right? So I want to put Goggins in behind there. Jocko Willink, couple of guys that I look up to, mentors. I consider them mentors of mine. Micro wins. He always talks about micro wins, so I want to have his face behind that, right? And then I don't even know where this came from. I don't know if that's me or somebody else, but this might be an actual something that the AI put in there, right? This is AI generated. So there was a couple of things that I liked here. There was a couple of things that I didn't. I actually downloaded, I believe it was the first, like this one. I didn't download this one. I downloaded the Goggins one, the Jocko one, and then I believe it was this one right here. So there was four, and then I put just a picture of me on as the last slide, right? So this is stuff that you can build out just directly from your phone. You don't have to be in front of your laptop. You can open up ChatGPT. You can have a conversation with Carl. You can tell the AI exactly what it is that you want. You can take that information, copy and paste it into an app like Gamma, and then download all of these right onto your phone immediately, and then upload them as a carousel direct into Instagram itself. Right. And boom. I mean, this is like literally, this took me, I didn't change any of the text here. This was all generated by the AI. I looked at it. I'm like, okay, this is perfect. Exactly how I would talk. Perfect. Let's go copy, download on the phone, post up into IG. Okay. All right. So let's go back. We're going to go back now to the last prompt, which is the optimized prompt. And then we're going to get into the market intelligence stuff. Okay, so this is the last prompt. Okay, so this prompt is, you are a full funnel real estate content repurposing expert. Take the best performing, take the best performing post and repurpose it into three formats: a short form video, reel, script, a story sequence, and an email call to action. Before AI, Gary Vaynerchuk had a department of people where he would shoot one piece of content. He'd be doing a keynote at a conference. They would take that one piece of content, they would turn it into 100 different pieces of content, right? He doesn't need a room full of people now. He needs probably 4 or 5 people that know how to wield these tools, right? And if you guys can wield these tools, you can create one piece of content that will turn into 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of content that will be able to translate across platform. Like, why do we want to push content out there? Because we know that that's where the eyeballs are. We know that that's where you have a really good opportunity to generate leads from, right? And my firm belief is that you need to be there. Like, think about the millennials right now, those that 30 to 40 to 45 age range. Those people are if they're not getting into their first home, they're getting into their second home, and they are on these platforms. Okay, so you've got to think about this strategically. Think about this long term. If you're going to build a business and build a brand and you're going to be in this business long term, these are the platforms that you need to be on. Are people going to go to Google and look for, you know, the best real estate agent in X city? Yeah, 100%. I don't think that's going away. But before they get to the Google, they're going to go to their AI model, their AI agent. They're going to say, hey, who is the best real estate agent in my city? Can you give me the top 5? Right? And it's going to go and scrape all of the information that it has access to. If you've got more content, more video content, if you've got more Instagram content, because Instagram now is being indexed in Google. I don't know if you guys heard that. That just got released here the other day. Okay, so Instagram is now, like, individual posts are now being indexed in Google. So if you're posting stuff up there on YouTube, you've got your blog, you're having AI write the content for you in your blog post, you're on LinkedIn. Guys, I'm telling you, you have the opportunity to flood the internet with your voice, with your brand, with your images, with your message, better than anybody else in your marketplace. And you can do this in a very short amount of time and at scale with very little money in. Whereas like 5 or 10 years ago, again, going back to the very Gary Vaynerchuk model, right? It would take an entire department of people to take that one piece of content and turn it into 100 pieces. Now you can take one piece of content that you create or that AI creates for you and turn it into 10 or 20 or 30 pieces of content, thereby flooding your market with your message, with your image, with you know, your basically your calls to action. Okay. So this is the optimized part. So you're a full funnel real estate content repurposing expert. You assume the target audience is downsizers. Your output should include a 30 to 60 second reel script. Okay, so there's the script. Shooting reels. I mean, you know, the stories and stuff that I post up on Instagram, typically unscripted. A reel that I post up there, typically scripted. Okay, so I have ChatGPT write me the script. I put it into write this down into my teleprompter app. Okay, so I've got an iPhone. It's on Google Play as well. Teleprompter app. I take that script. I upload it in there. I shoot the video. I save it. I download it to my phone. I export it into Opus Clips. It does the editing for me. Again, from iteration to upload, we're talking like maybe 30 minutes, right? All you have to do is come up with the idea. And if you can't come up with the idea, have AI come up with the idea for you, right? Okay, so short form reel script, Instagram story sequence. So it tells you the exact stories that you're going to post up there, right? An email, it will write the email for you. Click here to get your free downsizer equity report. Just reply with the word equity. Let's see what this actually does. If there's actually a download here. This is interesting. It might not do anything. Yeah, it's not doing anything. That's okay. Okay, so that's basically how we're going to utilize ChatGPT. So you're going to utilize a 4-prompt framework to uncover trends, gaps in your business, and new ideas. That's the research phase. Phase 2 is executing. So now you're utilizing AI, going back up here, right? You're utilizing AI to actually execute, to create the content for you, or create the system for you, or create the offer, the lead magnet for you. Okay. Then you're going to analyze, you're going to use AI to evaluate performance. So you can have it like I said, go to Harpa and go over to YouTube and utilize Harpa to analyze your competition in your marketplace that have YouTube channels and analyze the things that they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, so that you know to stay away from what they're doing wrong and only focus on the things that they're doing right. Right? So you're finding your competition in your marketplace that has videos that have thousands of views on them. Start with those videos, get those videos analyzed, have that analysis written into a blog post, take that blog post, write it into a script, put your own voice behind it, and boom, now you've got a long form piece of content based off of a video that's already worked for somebody else. Again, this is not plagiarism. You're not going verbatim. You're not speaking the exact same language. You're not talking the exact same way. It isn't going to be the exact same script. It's going to be in your words, in your voice, right? It is not going to, it's just taking the idea and creating the script from the piece of content that you've been able to find online. It's the same thing like what we talked about. I think it was last week. We talked about that article, right? Taking that article and having Harpa actually write a blog post based on the information that was in that article, which we can then turn that into a long form piece of content. Take that long form piece of content and create 5 or 6 or 7 different pieces of short form content that we could then upload into Instagram, into Facebook, into YouTube Shorts, right? And then we're analyzing things and then we're optimizing from there. So we're using AI to improve the next iteration, right? So 1 to 2 improvement suggestions for weaker posts, right? Suggestions to improve the other angles. Neighborhood matchmaker series, right? This concept is great for long-term nurture, but lacks a strong hook or urgent emotional driver for immediate action. It may feel like general local content rather than tailored advice, right? It actually gives you suggestions. The idea of what stays and what goes, the downsizing tips, the weakness. While it's useful, it leans too educational and lacks the emotional or financial pull that sparks DMs or shares. So maybe rethink not even doing that. Or follow the suggestions. Make it more emotional. Pair the tips with a story. Storytelling is huge. That's why I really like the documentary style videos where you're shooting the content and you're kind of moving through the property, but it's your voiceover going over top, right? Okay, so we've got all of that. Let's move into the market intelligence side of things. I want to make sure that I'm sharing the right window with you all. And again, guys, I'm not monitoring the chat. So if you're putting stuff in there for me, I'm not seeing it because I'm not going there. If you have questions, if we have time at the end, I'll try to jump in there and answer as many questions as I can. But at this point right now, I'm not monitoring the chat. Okay. So using case 1, so market intelligence for lead gen strategy. So I've basically taken everything that we've been working on in terms of research, execute, analyze, and optimize. And I want to figure out how I'm going to generate more leads for myself. So I want to know what types of content and lead magnets would best attract move up buyers in my market, which is in Kelowna, over the course of the next 90 days, right? So I lay out exactly how to create the prompt for you, right? So the context, the command, or sorry, this is the context. I don't know how that got to be context, but this is assign the role. There we go. Just fix that in real time. Assign the role, the command, the context, and the output. Okay. So now I'm going to take this full prompt I'm going to build this out in real time for you guys. Okay. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go back in here. We're going to talk about the executing. So we're going to build a campaign or an asset with AI. We're going to take one of those angles and we're going to turn it into a real content or full offer, right? So one of the ideas from earlier was the hidden cost of waiting, why you may lose by delaying your move. I want to turn that into content and a lead magnet. Write an Instagram carousel and a one-page PDF lead magnet using that hook. Include value-driven tips and CTA. So I'm not going to read through the whole thing. We're just going to go ahead and grab this prompt. Again, this is what you guys have access to a little bit later. So here we go. We've got this in here. Is now the right time to move up? Find 5 signs it's time to sell your home. Kelowna upgrade plan. What $1 million buy? These are all ideas, all topics that we could be creating content around. Now I'm going to say, I want you to take one of the ideas from earlier, the hidden cost of waiting, and I want you to actually start building out some content for me. So guys, this is how you use this framework. Okay. This is the researching, this is the executing, this is the analyzing, this is the optimizing. Okay. So we're doing this in real time for my business right here in good old Kelowna. Yes, I still sell a little bit. Nowhere near as much as I used to. Okay. So now it's giving us the carousels, the 5 slides and the CTAs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. There's the CTA. We've got a lead magnet now. What's the title of the lead magnet? The hidden cost of waiting. Why you may lose more by delaying your move in Kelowna's market, right? Intro paragraph. Inventory is up. Like, it's putting all of this. All I got to do is take this and put it into a PDF. Or I can say, please put that info into a PDF downloadable. So it's going to do that. While it does that, I'm going to go ahead and post in the third portion of this, which is the analyze side. Got to wait for it. This is the danger of doing live drive. You're kind of subject to finicky software as well as glitchy internet coverage sometimes. My internet's actually been pretty good today, so not overly upset about that. Okay, we got it. There we go. Okay, so let's download that. Let's see what it comes up with. There we go. Okay, so not perfect, right? But guys, you can take this, you can put it into Canva, you can pretty this up in a Google Doc. The important thing is that you're getting all of this content, right? You're just grabbing all of this content and you're putting it into a program that you can build out. Now you've got the framework, you've got kind of the ideas to what it is that you want to build, okay? So let's go with the analyze side. So now we're analyzing everything. 3 Instagram captions, 2 email subject lines I used last month to attract move up sellers. I want to know which ones hit hardest and why. Okay, please drop the 3 Instagram captions and 2 email subject lines you'd like me to evaluate, and I'll rank them from 1 to 5. Captions, but here are the email subject lines. Rank for emotional hook, strength, message clarity, and conversion potential to engage Kelowna move up sellers. Waiting might hurt more than it help. Look at this. It actually gives it a star rating, right? 4 stars out of 5, conversion potential 5 out of 5, right? Feedback. This subject line uses subtle fear and curiosity to great effect. It implies that there's a real cost to waiting without being overly dramatic. Creates an internal question. Am I losing money by doing nothing? Right? Why now is the time to sell? This is like bad. Emotional hook strength, like a 2 out of 5. The clarity is there, but the conversion potential is really bad. So, ultimately it's telling me exactly what the subject line is that I want to use. So before you send an email off, if you have the AI write the email for you and it gives you a subject line, ask it to do an analysis on the subject line as well as the content based on emotional hook and strength, clarity, conversion potential. Okay. Emotional hook and strength, clarity, and conversion potential. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over to the doc and we're going to grab the optimize prompt. Boom. Okay. Oh my goodness. Look at this. It's giving me the exact script. The hook. Thinking of upgrading your home, but waiting for the perfect time. Let me show you how waiting could actually cost you more than you could think. Right? Man, this is good stuff. I might actually have to use this. This is really good. Right? Instagram stories gives me the CTA, email nurture sequence. Right? Like it actually writes a sequence of emails that I could put into MailChimp, into BoldTrail, into Flowdesk, whatever platform you're using. Copy, paste, put in there, ready to rock and roll. All right. Cool. Oh man, that was a lot. I know, guys, again, this could have been easily 5, 6 weeks, 8 weeks of content, but man, I'll tell you, I think that I think that this is really I think what we've gone through over the last 4 weeks, you might think I'm crazy to say this, and I'm thinking I might be a little bit crazy to say this, but this is really scratching the surface of what the capabilities are of this platform. There was stuff that I was going to get into. I was going to get into building out AI agents, and we've touched on AI assistants. But I started working with AI to build out an AI agent, and I looked at that and I went, man, there's no way that most people would be able to understand what it is that we're trying to build here. Like a lot of it actually was going over my head, and I'm like, I like to think that I'm up on a lot of this stuff. Clearly, I wasn't. So I didn't want to bring that sort of thing in here. That might be like a 201 type training that we do at some point in the future. But for right now, I want to make sure that you guys are scratching the surface, not just the surface, but getting a little bit deeper, utilizing this to the best of your ability and utilizing these prompts that you have access to, taking them and refining them, revising them, making them better. Like this is, guys, this is just stuff that I came up with, that AI helped me come up with, right? Based on prompt and prompt engineering that I put into it. So, it's up to you guys now to take what I've taught you, what you have access to, and improve upon it, make it even better. Okay, so I want to cover off a couple of things. Basically, I want to talk about the things that I like the best from what we talked about over the course of the last, I don't know, 4 weeks, I guess, right? The first thing that I wanted to talk about was again, I know I've mentioned this quite a bit already, and in fact, I think I'll just share my screen with you guys. I wanted to talk about the prompt, the 4-step prompt framework. Right. And I just want to hammer this home. I want you guys to really understand this because this is the foundational piece of anything that you do with artificial intelligence. Anything that you do, I don't care what you're building. It all starts with the initial prompt. You have to tell it who it is and why it's telling you what it is that you need it to tell you. So you need to assign that role, right? So here's a great example. I want to create a video script to generate listing leads. Assigning the role, you are a real estate video marketing strategist. Okay, I could even put a name around that. I could say, you are a real estate video marketing strategist like Nolan Mathias, like Alex Hormozy, like, whatever. Name somebody that's on YouTube that does really, really well with the platform and put their name in there. It will go and find them on the internet. It will then adopt their personality, how they communicate. It will then put that into the response that you get back. So assigning the role is absolutely key to everything that you do. Otherwise, it's just going to be floundering, kind of guessing as to what it is that it thinks that you're actually asking for based on the direct command. So that's the second part of this. Assigning the role, second part is direct command. Write a 60-second Instagram reel script that addresses a common concern sellers have in today's market. Okay, so that's the command. This is what I want you to do. I want you to write the script so that I can shoot it in 60 seconds, so that I can upload it onto Instagram. I want it to address a common concern that sellers have in today's market. Okay, what is the context of that command? Like, what is it that we're wanting? Like, what are the common concerns that sellers have in today's market? Right. Well, I want you to focus on move up sellers in Kelowna, BC with homes in the 850 to 1.2 million range. Inventory is up. Interest rates are at 5.5%. The seller is nervous. They'll lose money if they list now. I want the tone to be confident, educational, and trustworthy. That is the context that we're looking for. That is a common concern, I would say, in pretty much any market across North America today, right? The last part of this is formatting the output. How do you want the AI to talk to you back? How do you want it to relay that information to you? So in this example, I say, break it down into a hook, the body. Remember, we're shooting a video here, right? So we want the hook in the first 3 seconds. What is the main message? So that's the body of the script. And the third thing is, what action do we want them to take? What is our call to action towards the end of the script? Okay, so let's do this in real time. We're going to create a script. I might even shoot this later. Never know. Go back into ChatGPT, our favorite. Get out of that one, go into this one. Okay, boom, it's going to give me a script. Now, let me show you something. I want you to rewrite this in the style, voice, and tone of Kelly Scar and Alex Hormozi. Okay, because I didn't give it that direction. I didn't assign that role properly at the very beginning. So it's going to go ahead and rewrite it. It's now analyzing. It's looking for me online. It's looking for Alex Hormozi. It knows that I want this certain script to be in a certain way. I want the hook in a certain way. I want the hook developed by Alex Hormozi. And so it's going to give me this really amazing script that I'm going to be able to ramble off, make it sound like me, because it is. And because that basically ChatGPT wrote it in my voice, which then I'm going to be able to put over into AI to have it edited for me and ready to upload. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to populate, hopefully this is getting a little bit better. So one property marketing plan. So we talked about the marketing presentation in Gamma, which, we kind of went through. I showed you Gamma already. This is, again, one of my favorite things over the course of the last 4 weeks or so. But this is an actual one property marketing plan, right? So I want you to pick a sample listing and show us how to generate an IG caption, a video script, property description. Okay, kind of lame, but you know what? I'm putting a property up on the market tomorrow. I'm going to need a property description. I'm not going to write it, so I'm probably going to wind up following this prompt. An email blast, and then a just listed CTA. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this. And come back into ChatGPT. Oh, he is not finished yet. So we're going to go ahead and refresh. There we go. Okay. Did he rewrite it? He didn't rewrite it. Rewrite in the voice of. Okay. There we go. Here's a rewritten 60-second Instagram reel script in a blunt, confident, no BS voice that blends Kelly Scar's real-world experience with Alex Hormozi's direct value-first delivery. Here's the hook. You're not losing money by listing your house right now. You're just looking at the wrong side of the deal. Boom. That's a great hook, right? Okay. So there we go. That is the video script. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to copy this, come down here, click on this little button, copy it. I'm going to take it, put it in a Google Doc, paste it there. I'm going to open up my teleprompter app. I'm going to import that document into my teleprompter app. I'm going to shoot the video. I'm going to put the video into Opus Clips. It's going to edit it for me. I'm going to take that edited version. I'm going to upload it into Instagram Reels. Again, all in maybe 30, 45 minutes, right? Don't tell me that you don't have time to do this, guys. Okay, please don't tell me. Okay, so we're going to come back here, copy this sucker. So we're going to build out a one property marketing plan. Okay, so think about, 123 Main Street or 41 Auburn Meadows Way, right? I could have put that in here. This is the entire plan that we're going to build out. Instagram carousel, slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. Going to give me the fifth slide here. I've got the lead magnet, intro paragraph, 3 value-driven insights. Guys, remember, like, look at this. I didn't say I need 3 value-driven insights. I said, well, 3 value-driven bullet points, but it's just rewriting some of my words. But man, this is so robust, right? 3 value-driven insights, call to action. There you go. So now I can take all of this. I can tell it to put it into a Gamma-friendly prompt that I can build this out inside of gamma.app, right? So we can absolutely do this with every single listing that we are putting on the market. Just think about the different things that you currently do for marketing and the things that you currently aren't doing for marketing your properties. Are you posting stuff up on Instagram? Is it interesting? Are people looking at it? Do they watch your videos? Do they watch and consume your content? Or do they just skip through to the next story without giving you a like, right? Are you shooting video? Like, is this something that you could be doing that you should be doing? Yeah, 100%. Here's an idea, write this down, okay? If you've created your HeyGen AI avatar, go to HeyGen, upload a video script talking about the property, okay? Now you're gonna have your AI avatar talking about the property. It's gonna do kind of the voiceover work, but also it's gonna have you kind of in that lower third, just like Jax with Josh. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the property, take a bunch of interior photos, and all that's gonna happen in the background is the photos. You're gonna have like 3 photos static, and then your captions are gonna be an overlay over top of those photos, and then you're kind of down in that lower third, right? So now you've got yourself on the video, it's your AI avatar. Yourself is on the video, you're doing the voiceover, and you're showcasing the property all at the same time. So you could be doing something like that. Property descriptions, pretty basic stuff. Creating an email, writing an email to your database, letting everybody know, hey, we got this new property that we just listed for sale, and then creating some sort of a just listed CTA. All right, let's move on. So writing a seller market update with AI. This is one of my favorite ones as well. This was actually, I didn't mind this one. What I really liked was building out the email sequence, right? So building out that 6 or 7 or 8 email sequence for a seller. If I could find all of the prompts, I would go back and grab the prompt and upload it, but I know that we don't have time for that. And we might actually be able to stop and field some questions here. So get your questions ready, you guys, and make sure to put them into the chat. And I will try to answer as many questions with as much time as we have left as I possibly can, okay? So without looking for that prompt, we're going to go ahead and put this one in there. So we're going to write a real seller market update email utilizing AI. Okay, so here we go. Here's the prompt. Your real estate content strategist who specializes in evaluating marketing performance and improving message clarity. Analyze the following content pieces to determine which perform best and why. Oh, that is not what we want in there. I'm going to have to fix that. That is not what we want. Okay. The platform. Okay, moving on. That's okay. We are going to go to this one. Sorry, guys. I thought I had the right one in there. I guess I didn't. I'm going to have to go back in and fix that before you guys download that prompt worksheet in the Drive folder. So don't do that yet. I'll get it fixed here right away, and then we'll get it uploaded. Okay, so this one we are doing building a repeatable buyer and seller systems checklist with AI. Okay, this is something that everybody wants. Systems. I need systems in my business. I want systems in my business. Okay, first define what is a system. How is the system actually going to keep you on task, on time, right? How is it going to actually return some kind of an investment to you, right? Is a system a checklist? Yes. Is a system a standard way of you doing things inside of your business every single time? Is it repeatable every single time? Yes, 100%. Right? So you can have AI create these systems for you. Here are 2 detailed, repeatable real estate checklists tailored to a solo agent in Kelowna, designed for delegation to a VA or transaction coordinator if needed. Boom. Bazinga. Pre-listing phase. book seller consultation, send pre-listing questionnaire, run CMA and recommend pricing strategy, sign the listing agreement, add seller to the CRM. Guys, if you take this prompt and you upload it into your favorite AI model, it should kick back almost all of these exact same things as a checklist. You can then take all of this, upload it into Google Sheets. You can put it into a Google form. You can put it into Trello. You can create different cards inside of Trello. Trello, there is a freemium version to Trello, right? We got an agent here in our office that utilizes Trello at a fairly high level. I was looking at it the other day. I was quite impressed with how he uses it. There's Basecamp, which is $15 a month. I think we talked about Basecamp, I think in week 2. So there's all kinds of different programs that are out there. Monday.com is another one. All kinds of different programs that are out there where you can create these checklists to keep you on time and on task, right? So there's the seller checklist. Here is the buyer checklist, right? So intake and qualification phase, the showings phase, offer and negotiation. Like, guys, I look at this and I go, there's like half of the stuff on here I hadn't even thought about, right? And so we've got AI as our strategic partner helping us create all of the systems that we need. Let me know if you want either of these in a Google Sheets tracker, a Notion board, or a printable PDF. Like, how money is that? You just created an entire system, an entire checklist that you can then build off of to completely transform your business. I mean, I can't see you guys. I don't know how many people are still on this call, but I'm telling you, most of the agents that I work with, most of them don't have systems when they start working with me. They don't have checklists. They don't have email sequences. Like most of the agents that I work with, teams that I work with, they by the time they're done, they have full-on email sequences built out into their Bull Trail, into their Flowdesk, into their MailChimp, whatever it is, right? So you guys have the opportunity today, over the course of the last 4 weeks, over the course of the next 4 weeks, jump into a cohort with your colleagues, go through these videos, go through the content, go through the slide decks, go through all of the prompts, all of the prompt worksheets, start to work with the prompts, start to build out your systems, figure out where you're going to start, hold each other accountable to this, and start to build a bigger, more robust business with a marketing engine and a completely systemized business that's going to help you crush more deals. Like, the more leads that you generate, the more you're able to close those leads, the more deals that you do, the higher the systems, the definitive systems that you're going to need in order to be successful. Because I can tell you, doing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 transactions in a month, if you are not systemized or at least have an assistant, you're going to be spinning your wheels and it is going to be incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. Okay. So I'm going to jump into the chat. I'm going to look to see what's been in here. Hopefully you guys have been nice. Okay. Can see me. Okay. ChatGPT 5.0 just launched for free and paid users today. Yes, it did, Lisa. I'm very excited about that. I heard recently that AI gathers its content from verified sites versus social media. I don't know about that, Micah. It's like when I go into ChatGPT and like I can go in there and I can ask it to I can put in a link to a YouTube channel and ask it to analyze a video and it'll do it for me. Now that's one way. Now if I go in there and I ask it to pull something out of YouTube, it might have a tougher time analyzing specific pieces of content. But I could go in there, and I've done this in the past. Give me the top 10 real estate coaches on the YouTube platform and provide links to their channels, please. Boom, it's done. Right. So I absolutely, I don't agree with that. I think it will pull in. Now, if you're wanting to analyze social media channels, Harpa is a great tool for that because it will analyze everything that you have on the page. So if you want to kind of spy on your competition and your marketplace, and you know that they've got a Facebook page that's got like 10,000 likes on it, and you're not entirely sure exactly how they got all of those likes, like what type of content they're posting there, you can utilize Harpa to actually analyze what's on that page and tell you the type of content that they've created to actually help them grow their audience on that page over the course of the last 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whatever. Right. So it's all about the tool, the AI tool that you're utilizing. Okay, I'm currently a paid user of Claude AI. Can I use this for these tasks, or should I use ChatGPT for this? This will everything that I've talked about today. I've talked about over the course of the previous 4 weeks as well. This will work, in my opinion, on any AI model that you have. Okay, I have Grok, I have Gemini, I don't have Claude. I've got ChatGPT, I've got VO, like I've got all of these different AI models. It will work inside of every single one of these models. Okay, you just need to work with the model. You have to be present with the model. You have to allow the model to get to know you. And once that happens, then it will start to, like, I've been working with ChatGPT for over 2 years, almost 3 years now, right? Like it got introduced to me back in 2022. And so I signed up for it immediately. I had the free version, then I was like, no, I need to unlock, I need to pay for this sucker. Once they introduced the pay model, I was one of the first people to start paying for it. Yes, I paid for it, have to, because it unlocks so many more tools, right? You have access to so many more tools. So yes, 100%, I do believe that it will work inside of Claude. It will work inside of any AI model that you deploy it. When we're asked to lower our commissions, we can show the checklist and ask which item they would like us to cut. Okay. Can I be real with you guys for a second? I don't know that those hardcore closer type tactics really work on buyers and sellers anymore. And you got guys out there like Andy Elliott and Daniel G and these Ryan Stewman, like hardcore closers, like they would utilize they would use a tactic like that, right? Let me reframe it for you. What I used to do when I had my team, we had I think I mentioned this before. We had a 91 point checklist. Everything was in Basecamp. Became part of my presentation. I would sit down with the client. I would have like a paper copy of my listing presentation. Here you go. Here's the CMA. And then I would flip my laptop around and I would say, listen, we've got a 91 point checklist to get your home sold. Here's the thing. Here's the checklist. This is the template. We include you on everything that we do. We include you because we feel like you're a valued part of our team. You've hired us to do a job, but we also want you to have a say as to how we market and sell your home. So therefore, we actually add you to this platform. We give you an account and we set you up so that you get emails consistently from us telling you exactly what it is that we do to service your listing on a daily basis. On top of that, they have access to all of the forms. They can contact us through the platform if they want. They can chat with us. It's all we're doing is reframing this and saying, hey, listen, this is the value. This is the checklist. This is the value proposition that we have. Nobody else in our marketplace has this. Nobody has it. We are the best at what we do because we are the most organized team, most organized solo agent in our marketplace today. And we want you to be included as part of this home selling journey. Yes, you've hired us to do a job, but we firmly believe in a team-based approach. It's all in how you reframe this, right? So don't think about it like, well, I've got this 91 point checklist. Like, what is it that you don't want me to provide? It's like, no. If you get to a point where you've got a client saying, I want you to cut your commissions, you haven't done your job to that point, displaying the value that you bring to the table. Because if you've displayed the value that you bring, they're not going to ask for the discount. And if they ask for the discount after you explain the value, then the answer is no. It's just simply no. Like, okay, well, what were you thinking? I was thinking this. Actually, you know what? We don't discount our commissions. We have a pretty robust plan to get your property sold. I think that we've explained that. We've got a really great onboarding program as well. It takes us anywhere from 7 to 10 days to get your property properly loaded into our system and properly pre-marketed as well as marketed on the system. What would you rather have? Would you rather be on the market sooner or would you rather be on the market later? Because we have a 14-day option as well. So now we're going into an assumptive close. We're assuming that they're going to list with us, and we've shifted away from talking about commissions to getting them actually listed on the market, right? Okay, how do you brand Gamma to Remax colors and logos? Actually, if you know Jim, that's a great question. I'll see if I can jump in here. How much time we got? We got like 1 minute left. Share my screen with you really quickly. I actually went in. So I went in here and I was able to pick a theme, and I put the color of blue as well as the white and the gray into the theme. So I customized the theme. Okay, so there is a way to do that. I'm sorry, I don't have time to show you that today, but there is definitely a way for you to do that. When you have all of your content loaded in there and you want to select your theme, you can actually edit the theme and you can save it as a template. All you need is the color codes. So the hex codes, if you have the hex codes, it makes things so much easier. Lisa, Jim, ask ChatGPT to help you with that. Yes, Randy, great response. Jim says, Randy, I did ask ChatGPT and chat said, ask Kelly. There you go. And there's your answer, my friend. All right, cool, everybody. So that is it. That's end of 4 weeks with you all. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. I truly hope that you were able to get something out of these 4 weeks. I know it's been a crazy 4 weeks. Guys, I'm with you. I want to leave you with some homework, though, before we let you go. So I want you to utilize AI to analyze your business. I want you to find the gaps, okay? Before you hire me, before you hire a coach, I don't care if it's me or somebody else, guys, you got to be able to utilize AI to identify your gaps. And with AI, you can be as vulnerable as you want to be, okay? You can use AI to fix and fill those gaps that you found, right? I really want you guys to sit down and build out your systems, right? Build out those checklists for both buyers and for your sellers. And realistically, guys, if you aren't communicating with your database at least twice a month, man, you're missing the boat. That's 24 touches in a year, right? You can set up a weekly email to your database fully written by AI. I have an email scheduled to go out tomorrow. I do not write my emails anymore. I'm sorry if you're on my Friday Fire email list. Those emails are fire and they do get put together by ChatGPT. Carl and I work it out. I come up with the idea. He pumps out the content for me. I make a few changes to it, but ultimately that's what winds up going into my email every single week, right? So you need to get on this train. There's absolutely no reason for us to sit down and say, God, I just don't have time to write an email. It takes you literally 3.5 minutes to get it done, scheduled and sent. Okay. Last thing, leave you with this. If you want to contact me and jump onto a free 30-minute, no obligation call, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Just want to listen to what your problems are. I want to listen to what your gaps are. I want to see if I can provide some value to you. If at some point you decide to hire a coach, I hope that you'll think of me first. That's all that I want to do. Here's the thing, guys. If you're going to book in with me and it's down the road, please make sure that you show up. These calls are all over Zoom. I don't do phone calls. I'd rather see your face. I'd rather hear your voice. I'd rather see your body language. I want to do these calls over Zoom. So if you schedule the call with me and it's tomorrow or it's next week or it's the week after, please make sure that you show up. You will get email reminders letting you know that we do have a call scheduled. Okay. All right. So let's leave it there. You guys have been amazing. I appreciate you all. Love you all. You have an amazing rest of your week and get out there and execute at the highest levels, my friends. Take care.